Workplace disrespect is a huge problem for employers in Canada. If you work in or run a disengaged, fear-based culture, it not only bleeds away profits, it hurts people. Erica Pinsky is an expert on workplace bullying and harassment. She's the author of Road to Respect, Path to Profit. On this Pink Shirt Day that focuses on stopping bullies, it is my pleasure to welcome Erica Pinsky to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Great.
Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
We're both in the pink.
Well, yep, absolutely, for Wear Pink Day.
It's a great cause, and whether you are bullied in a schoolyard or a boardroom, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
It's pretty well the same thing in terms of the effect that it has on the person on the receiving end, which is to make them feel badly about themselves, to make them unhappy, sometimes even to make them sick. And who wins with that?
No one I know, and certainly in the boardroom, you don't very often see hair pulling and pushing and pinching.
No.
But it's a little more subtle.
Absolutely. It can be sort of the eye-rolling, harumphing, arm-crossing when someone makes a comment. It can be taking credit for someone else's work. It can be interrupting someone who wants to give an idea or suggest something, or cutting down a suggestion in a very sarcastic or mean-spirited way. And the message is quite clear.
If you're a coworker or a boss, does it make a difference? Because we have story meetings, we're all kind of yelling and screaming. You know, no, well, let's not do that. And it's in the spirit of making a better show.
Right, and that's what we call...
And we're equals.
Right, and that's what I would call constructive conflict. And we want to have that in our workplaces. We want people to be around a table feeling they can really participate and bring their ideas forward.
Sure, and say what they think and
Absolutely.
not be afraid to say, I don't agree with that. Here's what I think.
Absolutely.
But I'm not always right.
Exactly, and when I'm not always right, I'm prepared to listen to my colleagues, hear what they have to say, and discuss their idea and think, okay, well, maybe let's look at this or let's look at that. So that's a great way to have a team-based environment.
How did you get into this business, into studying bullying and harassment,
I worked
dysfunctional workplaces?
I worked in labor relations. That's my master's is in labor relations. I started in labor relations, and then I moved into doing human rights for a large corporation. Just really, I think my ex-boss thought it would be a good fit. And as soon as I started in that work, I thought, yes, this is where my passion really lies.
How prevalent is it today in the workplace, or do you know? More women bullied than men? Is there a gender issue here?
There is unfortunately a gender issue. And women are on the receiving end of bullying in 75 to 80% of cases. Now, they're not, men and women bully equally. So one of the myths is maybe, men bully more than women. In terms of who bullies, it's equal between men and women. But who gets targeted, the research out of the States and Britain, Australia, and what's coming out here definitely shows it's women. Example.
Where a woman is being bullied and you're just, it's not really that apparent to other people, but she feels she's being bullied.
Well, it's the covert stuff that you mentioned before, Fanny, that's hard, it's under the radar. So it's not something you can see, it's not yelling and screaming or overt sarcastic comments. It's a sort of a Jekyll and Hyde personality that the person that's bullying displays. So to other people, they seem very nice and very easy to get along with. However, for that person, on one-on-one meetings, they'll say, well, here's what I want you to do. And then the person does it, and then it's in that one-on-one meeting, oh, no, that's not what I said to do, or that's not right, or taking credit for their work in a public setting where, because of a position of power, if it's a boss, that person really can't say anything. Or when the person does talk to them again, it's always in the privacy of a one-on-one situation. The person says, oh, no, I didn't say that. Oh, no, I didn't do that. Or you can't have your vacation at this time. Or you don't understand that properly. And then also, when they talk to their superiors, portraying that person as a problem employee. Oh, they're the problem. I'm trying to work with this person. I'm trying to coach this person. They just don't seem to get it.
What about personality clashes?
Well, a personality clash for me, and a lot of times I'm called into a workplace to deal with a personality clash. A personality clash is when two people, and where there's more of an equivalent power situation, are just sort of back and forthing and simply don't get along. So it's I do this, you do that, I do this. But with bullying, it's unidirectional. It's one person engaging in behavior, targeting someone else who's basically the recipient, and when they try and resolve the situation, they can't do anything.
So the other person is in a position of, no matter what I do, I can't please you. No matter how hard I work, I can't please
Absolutely.
you. You know? I don't know what you do if you're in that position. Do you go to HR? Do you go to the person who's doing it? Do you talk? Of course you talk to your fellow workers. We know that goes on.
Yes, and unfortunately what happens is often you talk to your fellow workers so much that it starts to create gossip and negativity in the workplace, which is extremely toxic and counterproductive. So what you want to do is, I think it's a good idea to talk to a coworker, but you might want to do that one-on-one just to say, this is what I'm noticing. This is what I'm experiencing. Have you noticed anything? Because sometimes what happens is bullying tends to isolate people. So someone may have been targeted before, but they're not going to talk about it. So they might exchange information. However, you know, and then that person might say, well, I have noticed that, or no, I haven't. And then I think talking to the person that's doing the bullying is always a good first step if you can manage it.
Sure. There's an ad on the radio currently talking about Ted. He's 38. He's isolated. He eats lunch alone. He's at his desk alone. Nobody includes him, and I suspect, it doesn't go on and on and on, but I suspect when the workday's over, they don't invite Ted to play golf, and they don't invite Ted to have drinks. They all leave the office without Ted.
Right. And often what happens, particularly if the person who's bullying can be in a position of power as a supervisor or manager, or can be sort of just a leader within a department because of seniority or personal power. And then other people will tend, even if they don't agree with the behavior, they'll want to ally themselves with that bully because they're concerned that if I don't, I'm going to be the next victim. And I definitely don't want that. So it isn't a choice I'd prefer to make, but given this situation, this is what I'm going to do.
We watched it in school, in
Absolutely.
high school, the different cliques and the kids who didn't seem to have a friend anywhere.
Right. The thing
Perhaps didn't want a friend around, but I doubt that.
Right. No, well, we all do, I think, want workplace relationships. In workplaces, though, the individuals that tend to be targeted are bright, popular, capable, good at their jobs. So they're the employees that employers really need and want to keep. And often they're targeted because of their skills and their abilities.
That's interesting. A little jealousy. So